April 2nd, reciprocal tariffs kick in. And whatever they tariff us, other countries, we will tariff them. That's reciprocal, back and forth. Whatever they tax us, we will tax them.
A big week at the White House for the Trump administration. Those long-awaited tariffs teased by the president are set to kick in on Wednesday. The president is calling April 2nd Liberation Day. According to the Yale Budget Lab, reciprocal tariffs are designed to match the import duties placed on U.S. goods and services by other nations. The size and scope of these tariffs still unknown, but the president had this to say about the rollout. Listen.
The tariffs will be far more generous than those countries were to us, meaning they will be kinder than those countries were to the United States of America over the decades. They ripped us off like no country's ever been ripped off in history. And we're going to be much nicer than they were to us, but it's substantial money for the country.
Let's bring in CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang. Weijia, good to see you. What do we know about the details of this reciprocal tariffs and how many countries will be affected?
Well, we don't have a list yet, Mugo, of exactly what countries will be impacted or even how many or exactly how. But we know that Trump's top economic aides have been talking about the so-called Dirty 15, pointing to about 15% of nations where there is a significant trade deficit, meaning that there is an imbalance when it comes to how much these countries are importing into the U.S. versus how much the U.S. is shipping to those countries. And the president has long said that he wants that to be balanced. So some of those countries are the China, the European Union, Mexico, Vietnam, Taiwan, Japan, Switzerland. The list is about 15 countries. But again, we don't have the exact details of who will be impacted.
Okay, Weijia, the president touched on a number of topics, including the possibility of secondary tariffs on Iran. Let's listen to this, and then we'll talk to you on the other side of this.
We have the secondary tariffs on Iran, and we'll probably give it a couple of weeks, and if we don't see any progress, we're going to put them on. We're not putting them on right now, but if you remember, I did that 6 years ago, and it worked very well, to put it mildly. And if the election weren't rigged, you would have a situation where there would be no problem with Iran today.
So, Weijia, exactly what deal is the president referring to here?
Well, the president wants to enter into an agreement, broker a deal with Iran to curb its nuclear ambitions so that Iran does not continue to try to build out a nuclear weapon. Of course, there was a deal that included several countries when the president took office the first time around, which he pulled out of because he said that the terms simply were not good enough. And so now he wants to broker a new deal. Now, in addition to what he said on the plane that we just heard, in an interview separately, the president also went on to say if Iran does not make a deal, there will be bombing. It will be bombing the likes of which they have never seen before. So that's quite a threat as the president tries to move things along with Tehran to come to an agreement.
And Weijia, while we have you here, we want to get your take on the president possibly seeking a third term. Listen to this.
I'll tell you, I have had more people ask me to have a third term, which is in a way a fourth term because the other election, the 2020 election was totally rigged. So it's actually sort of a fourth term in a certain way. I just don't want the credit for the second because Biden was so bad. He did such a bad job. I have had more people say, please run again. They said, we have a long way to go before we even think about that. But I've had a lot of people.
So constitutionally, can this actually be done?
Well, as the current Constitution stands, no. As a result of the 42nd Amendment, it says that nobody can be elected to be president more than twice. The president, though, President Trump insists that there are, quote, methods to do this. He claims that he is not ruling out running a third time. And he's not wrong in that, there are ways to amend the Constitution again. So there could be a 2/3 vote in Congress, or there could be another situation, a constitutional convention, in which 34 of the states make the same formal request to revise the Constitution. But given the slim majority in the Congress right now, not to mention the fact that you cannot assume that all Republicans would vote in favor of this, it does seem incredibly daunting and nearly impossible. But the president has said there are ways to make this done, that it should not be completely ruled out. And he added that he's not joking when he talks about potentially trying to seek a third term.
Okay. CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang, thank you so much for your time today.